Hey friends, how you doing? Ryder Champouillon, Point of Life Acupuncture coming to you again with another one of our What to Do Wednesdays. Today's topics are going to be including breathing and inflammation, how we can use the two of them together to reduce inflammation in our joints, in our body, move our lymphatic system, and boost our immune system. So I'll talk to you guys about that. Thank you, Danielle, for hopping in today. It's appreciate seeing you here. Carrie, always a pleasure to see you. I dropped some little veggies off for you on your desk. I hope you get them later today. Miss Lisa, always a pleasure seeing you around. One of my favorite people in the world. You're a true champion. Keep going with that goal setting, and you're going to get those goals accomplished, my friend. So a little bit about our breathing and lymphatic system today. Our lymphatic system is super, super important. I know I talk about it a lot because it is super important. Believe it or not, your lymphatic system is like the sewer system of your body. It surrounds every single cell in your entire body. So it really is like the sewer system, the gutters, the drains, the waste management plants, all the debris, all the waste products from our cellular metabolism, which is the lifestyles of our cells, gets put into this waste system, the lymphatic system, and it floats there. And floats there. Just like your cesspool or sewer system, there are no pumps. Well, there are, but they're secret pumps. So, what does this mean? The cell produces waste products, just like we produce waste products, because cell's a little living entity of its own. And those waste products go and they float around outside the cell. Believe it or not, we have 5 times more lymphatic fluid in our bodies than we actually do blood. So you think about all the amount of blood that goes through every part of your body, touches every single cell in your body. Your lymphatic fluid is 5 times more voluminous in the body, so it has almost that much more importance in the body because it really is the lubrication as well as the waste management system. So the blood brings in good, healthy things to the cells, and as the cells use them and make waste products from that, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the waste products are eliminated from the cells and put into that sewer system, and they float there. We all know that our heart is the pump for the cardiovascular system, and our lymphatic system has no actual organ pump in it. The cardiovascular system has the heart as well as the calves. Most people don't realize that, and that's why they say walking and running is such a good cardiovascular activity. It's because the calves are the lowest part in the body, lowest muscle group in the body that squeeze on the blood vessels, and the blood vessels push blood up like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste, push the blood up, the valves stop the blood from coming back down, and it pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes and lets blood go back up to the heart and lungs to be reoxygenated and circulated around. So technically we actually have 2, if you want to count both legs, 3 pumps for the cardiovascular system. However, the lymphatic system has no pumps. Like I said, it's kind of like the cesspool or the sewer system. So how does lymphatic fluid actually get moving around the body? 2 generalized ways. 1 from your breathing, the movement of your diaphragm pressing against the organs like your spleen and your intestines and so forth, and your liver is going to give a pumping action to those organs that helps you cycle and cipher out and filter. But also 2, movement. If you think about where all of our lymphatic nodes are, the lymph nodes, you feel them when you get swollen glands down the side of your neck. They feel like little grapes or raisins that grow down your neck. Hopefully not big, or else you probably have a worse infection. Let me turn this down just a little bit so you can see me better. They go down the inside of the neck here. We also have them in the axillary crease, which is on the side of the inside of the armpit next to the chest material here. And also on the inside of the thighs, too, in the inguinal crease, are the major lymph chains in the body. And you can feel them. You can probably feel them inside your armpit sometimes when you get sick, or if you have, very thin skin. And also on the inside of the inguinal crease, right where your legs meet up with your hip structure. You might feel a little like balls or raisins and grapes in that area, too. And there's a whole little chain of them, just like grapes. And those are the collecting reservoirs for the lymphatic fluid and the immune cells and things in the body. That's why they get swollen when you get sick. So why are they located in these positions? Because as we walk, as we move, they get massaged. And as we turn our head, all the little muscles roll back and forth, and gently massage and squeeze. Just like the digestive system, peristalsis is that wave-like motion that pushes food through our digestive system. That wave-like motion of our bodies and those muscles pushing on those lymph glands are going to pump those fluids through the system. So the 2 ways our lymphatic system moves is simply breathing and moving. So that's why exercise is such a great thing for your immune system. So how do we harness this to make our bodies better, make ourselves healthier, to improve our immune system and even reduce inflammation from sicknesses, from mucus congestion, as well as joint injury? So very simple breathing technique. It's going to go by a pattern of 1, 4, and 2. So follow me here. Your inhale is going to be for a multiple of that number. So multiple of 1. So you can inhale for 1. And you're going to hold it, but you're not going to hold it in your throat. You want to hold it diaphragmatically. So you want to breathe deep into the belly and let the belly hold it. The chest stay open and the belly hold that oxygen for that count of 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale for a count of 2. 1, 2. Repeat. Inhale 1. Hold 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2. 1, 2. Now, ideally, what you really want to do, if you want to make this a ritualized practice to really harness the benefits of it, is you want to try to make it for 10 repetitions. So all 10, count the little piggies right there. 10 repetitions of a multiple of 7. So if you do the math there, I don't know how good you guys are at your counting skills, it's going to be 7 times 1, 7 times 4, and 7 times 2. So inhale for 7 count, hold it for a 28 count, and exhale for a 14 count. 10 times. So to start off with, I usually recommend people start in that 1, 2, or 3 range, simply because unless you practiced your breathing very often, it's going to be somewhat difficult for you to be able to breathe and hold your breath with that continuation without putting extra stress onto your body. We really don't want to stress the systems out. We want to be able to grow into this practice. But what that's going to do is by breathing in that format, it's going to put pressure onto those systems, expanding those tissues that press against those lymph glands and help to get that little peristaltic wave-like motion through those lymph ducts. So breathing, that's a very, very simple way. You can do that every single day. When I am sick, I tend to do it more often. I try to do it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. If I do come down with some kind of sinusitis, rhinitis, upper chest respiratory kind of things going on, or even GI upset like that, anytime that you have an infection in the body or have inflammation in the body, this is going to be a great tool for you to be able to help regulate those systems and eradicate those diseases that are causing those pathogenic influences in your body. So other ways, some exogenous ways from outside the body that we can work on these things. Great thing that we can do for joint inflammation is getting the muscles to move. Like we said, the peristaltic motion of walking helps lymph move. If we have a swollen elbow or swollen wrist, getting those forearm muscles, if you look, they kind of wave around. They make themselves little waves. I don't know if you can see with the lighting in here, but you get wave-like motions anytime you move your muscles, so getting the joints to move that way. So even if you can't get out of a chair for some reason, you can sit and pump your hands, turn your forearms up and down, move your arms, that's going to help extensively. Let's say somebody who has a broken arm and they're in a cast, casting things is such a horrible idea for your immune system. It helps to stabilize those joints, absolutely, so to make those bones fuse together. But when it comes down to actually removing the lymphatic system to help that area heal as best that it can, as quickly as it can, it's really going to slow it down because now you're immobilized and you can't move those tissues all that much. However, whatever movement you can do is going to be better. What about an injury where a person has mobility, but the muscle's pulling on it? Maybe we have a muscular evulsion where a tendon has pulled itself off the bone, and if we go to move it, it's going to hurt. Well, in that type of case, we're going to use an exogenous influence. We're going to use an external device to get that stimulation to happen. My recommendation is the Compex unit. I now have 2 of them because I love them so much. This is the wired unit. Typically, there's a whole series of crazy wires that come off the bottom here. A little bit different than a typical TENS device, although if you are skilled in the calibration of those little dials on your TENS units, you can put them on a high enough amplitude but low enough frequency and low enough strength setting that it's going to cause a very light, slow pulsing of those muscles and get those muscles to move in the surrounding area, obviously not on the torn muscle area, but in the surrounding tissues, and those surrounding tissues will then start to recruit their little movement friends and get that flow going through those tissues. So, TENS units or the Compex units, awesome for that. Compex actually has training and recovery settings for it, so you just plug it and let it go, and it does its thing automatically. Super great. If you guys don't have one of these, looking to get them, if you want to talk to me, I can get you some discounts on those things as well. And if you want to come into the office and try it out, super great. Do it all the time on myself. A lot of my athletes, we use it at the gym a lot, so definitely a recommendation there. Other ideas we have too, we do this a lot with our injured patients that come in, injured joints, as well as ladies coming in. Our ladies coming in that are pregnant, having swollen feet, we use the little JellyFish tape here. This is kinesio tape. It's not pre-cut tape. I only use the high-quality tapes in the office because they stick so much better. It takes a little bit more effort because you got to cut these pretty little designs in it, make sure the curves, the edges are all curved the way they're supposed to be. But what this does is when we put it onto the joint, let's say that my forearm was swelling up, my wrist was swelling up here. I would take this piece here, which is the anchor, and you place it towards the most major lymph chain in the body. So if my elbow was swollen, I'd put it towards the inside where it's going towards the armpit area. I'd anchor this piece here. And then we take these little finger-like tendrils that come down, and we give them a very gentle stretch, maybe less, like up to 10% of the tape elasticity. So a very gentle stretch to it. And what that does is basically going to reach out, and it's going to pull those skins. It's going to give those skins a gentle pulling, which is going to create basically a funnel. It's going to funnel the fluid that's swollen in that joint up towards that lymph channel and get it to drain out of that area. Works unbelievably well for swollen feet for pregnant ladies, and for joint injuries, especially bruising too. Sometimes people get in car accidents, they're wearing their seatbelt and they have bruising across their chest. Soccer players, martial artists with bruisings on their shins and things like that. For those of you out there doing CrossFit, if you ladies have those bruises from doing your hang power cleans on those thighs, and maybe you got to go out and put on a dress and you don't want to have those bruises being overly visible, kinesio taping is absolutely fantastic with this application. In those kind of places, we'll put two pieces on so they weave back and forth, and you can see when we peel the tape off 3 to 5 days later, where the tape is, the bruising is actually completely gone. It's like a lattice work missing, and then we just crisscross it and get the spots where the still bruising is. So you got like maybe 5 to 7 days and the bruising will be gone typically. That's awesome. Other technique that we also use too is, these are all things you guys can do at your home too. Voodoo banding. Big, stretchy, elastic band. It's like a giant rubber band cut in half. We're going to use these to reduce inflammation as well too. Basically a pump and squeeze. It's kind of like a tourniquet or a pressure bandage. Rule with that when you're doing it for joint inflammation or muscle inflammation is always to go from distal to proximal. So what does that mean? From down the river, up the river. You never want to pump this way because your fingers will pop and explode. Probably not, but it's not going to be very good. It gives you good visualization. But you want to come from the hands up to the shoulder, or from the feet up to the waist that way. This way you kind of squeeze the toothpaste back to the factory and get things circulating around there. So that's that, guy. So remember, breathing moves the lymphatic system. That 1-4-2 repetition, that multiple of 1-4-2, repeating 10 times every day will help to circulate the lymphatic system through your breathing practices. There are great yoga practices as well too that will add that kind of breathing, or qigong practice that will add those kind of breathing patterns in, with different leverages on the body where you're leaning forward onto a lunged leg to massage the organs and stuff as well too. Those are also very, very good. A little bit difficult for me to demonstrate some of them for you today. Kinesio taping, super applicable for swollen joints. Compex, or transcutaneous neuromuscular electric stimulation. So TENS devices calibrated appropriately. You don't want a super strong muscle spasm. Looking for very gentle. When we talk about the lymphatic system, gentler is better. Of course, lymphatic drainage. We have a great lymphatic drainage specialist that I refer to down in Sayville if you're on Long Island. That's Maria Lozano of Earth Tone Therapies. So you can check her out if you need a lymph specialist. Of course, the good old voodoo bands, one of my things I would bring to the island with me if I was stranded and had 3 devices to bring. That would certainly be one of them. So that's my section for you guys today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions regarding inflammation, joint pain, or your immune system, you know where to reach me. Point of Life Acupuncture, 631-629-LIFE. That's 5433. You can check me out on Facebook, of course. You're watching me now on our Facebook page. A lot of great information getting shared there. Check out our YouTube channel. Big crazy numbers. But if you search for Point of Life Acupuncture, you'll find the one that has a lot of videos up there. Make sure you hit the little bell and subscribe on that so you get our newest updates there. And, of course, Instagram as well, putting a lot of motivational stuff up there. Tune in for our Fridays Move, Think, and Feel Friday posts, as well as our Mondays Point of the Day Mondays. Get that cerebral fluid moving around. So that's it, folks. Thank you for your attention today. I hope I answered some questions for you, and I hope you will be well and live life fully. Thank you.